You know, there is a lot to be prideful about here in the Pacific Northwest. Now, those of us that are from here, we know that, and we need to protect that. Today, we show you why we're prideful about living here, working here, and playing here. Join us as we take pride in the Pacific Northwest.
The Washington State Ferries is the biggest ferry system in the United States, second biggest in the world. Carried about 25 million passengers last year, so that's on par with a pretty good-sized airline.
I'm Captain Chris Ferris. I work on the ferry Chimicum. I've been doing this for in excess of 40 years. We're basically a commuter-based ferry system.
I'm Bill Smith. I'm a resident of Bainbridge Island. Commuted for about 6 years daily to downtown Seattle.
I'm Jeff Mueller. I've been a bike commuter for about 4 years.
On a beautiful day like this, it's very enjoyable to come to work. People are out on the upper deck here, walking around, enjoying the weather, and trying to see if they can see some sea life out here, and the kids just have a blast.
It's very fun. Yeah, it's so great to feel the wind in your face.
Standing out on the sun deck and enjoying the weather and the view. This is a priceless view.
You see orcas in the water, you see dolphins, you see aircraft carriers, you see submarines, you see things that you just don't see anywhere else in the world.
And when the mountains are out like this, I enjoy it. I mean, I like being able to see the mountains.
It's a unique way to get around, and that kind of, makes you proud.
The people that direct your car on board the vessel, these are all merchant mariners, and they are highly trained. They're not just, parking your car. They're operating hundreds of millions of dollars worth of machinery and are charged with keeping thousands of people safe every day going across the waters of Puget Sound.
When you're trying to get 2,000 people off a boat, the best thing you can do, the only thing you can do is walk like a penguin. And people walk along and do the ferry shuffle. I wrote a song called the Ferry Shuffle. I actually made it into a little music video.
I know the best way for easing my strain is when I'm doing the ferry shuffle.
If you have to commute, it's the best commute in the world. You can grab a beer, a glass of wine, you can do email, you can read the paper, you stare out at the water.
A lot of people go up top and nap. You can catch up on your sleep. So, it's a huge chunk of your commute that you can spend doing something other than thinking about moving.
It's a really great way to, not live right in the city, but still get to it. So I think it's great. I mean, it's just like going on the freeway, but you just float on the water.
I'd like to think that people are proud of the ferry system, whether it's the employees of Washington State Ferries or whether you're just a citizen of the state. Everybody, as a taxpayer, owns a piece of these boats.
All you have to do is look out my office window. I think I'm luckier than most people. I love it here. I love the Pacific Northwest.
There are times when it's hard to believe that what I'm doing is my profession, is my career, is what I love to do. It doesn't feel like work. And I had to remind myself that not only is life good, it can be stressful at times, no doubt, but sometimes you just got to stop and remind yourself that, wow, what I'm doing is really fun. Probably my favorite subject as a photographer, good old Space Needle, the moon in different poses. What can I say? I'm a simple man. For me, being a photographer in Washington is an amazing treat. Not only do we have this incredible surroundings, the oceans, the mountains, the sea, ferry boats, the sunsets, we've got this tremendous asset in the people themselves, and that's what I enjoy most probably, is the people interacting with the people on the streets. Seattle has this wealth of human resource, really, that makes us a city.
From city lights to rural life, the roosters, the cows, and of course the bees. Our own Allison Morrow got a lesson in farm life right here in the PNW.
You want want to be a farmer, come over to my house and learn how to be a farmer. This is a nectarine tree. I think this is a cherry tree. Thing 1 and thing 2.
Thing 1 and thing 2.
Don't step in that. That's cow poop.
Oh, look. There's a wild animal print in the cow poop.
That's the mean rooster here. That attacks you. I can speak up. I'm saying, bark. I'm saying, please move.
Oh, is that please move in chicken?
Yeah. We'll trap them! Trap them!
What's this one's name?
Becky.
Oh, Becky. This day just got a lot better. We're gonna put on bee suits.
When it lands on you, don't be scared. Look.
Are you smelling it right now? What are you doing?
No, I'm looking at the honey.
Can I look? Should I just stick my face right up to it?
Like that. Kissing the bee goodbye.
Oh, I'm kissing him goodbye?
Yeah. Now with your lips.
I just did it. I kissed a bee goodbye. I can't believe I just did that. So you think I could actually be a farmer?
Yeah.
Give me a hug. Thanks, Aiden. My farming mentor. High five.
Here's the thing. We all know the Pacific Northwest has a vibe that's extremely unique. Seattleites work hard, they play hard. They love being outside, I don't know, walking their dog, exercising, enjoying the beauty, whatever it is. But if there's one thing that fuels us, if there's one thing that gets us so excited, it's the magic bean. All right, so what should we start with?
We're gonna make some espresso first.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do we cheers?
If you want to, yeah.
I would love
totally.
to. Cheers. Just enough energy to make you go, woo! When you think of Seattle, you think rain and coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it that keeps us coming back to this?
I think they go hand in hand. I mean, with like the sort of rainy, dreary atmosphere, I think people just tend to either want to be inside and still go throughout their day, and there's something energizing about, you know, a lot of sunlight and a lot of like warmth. So I think people are finding that in sort of like the caffeine and the product of coffee.
Did you know that 6 out of the top 10 US cities for coffee drinkers are right here in Washington? Yeah. Hey, do you guys know Seattle has more than 600 Starbucks stores? Did you know that Seattle has 10 times more coffee shops per 100,000 residents compared to the entire US? No. Guess how many coffee shops, independent coffee shops, there are in Seattle?
2,000?
Good guess, 700. Wow.
Hot chocolate?
It's crazy. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, we'll drink it.
Let's go grab some coffee. Yeah, let's go.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So what?
Like, what would you average?
I would say 3 at the most.
Okay.
But always before 4 p.m. That's my cutoff.
I pretty much have 1 cup a day, so 9 a.m. is kind of my cutoff. But I'm in grad school right now, so my cutoff kind of changes depending on how exhausted I am and how many papers I have to write.
5
p.m.
5 p.m., yeah. Usually about 7 a.m. Kind of a 1 cup guy.
I would say probably mid-afternoon. I usually switch to green tea.
It's that fuel that makes us who we are. It's the staple of the Pacific.
Hey, we're done. It's a staple. We all get it. We drink coffee here.
I'm so thirsty. Let's go. All right. It's a staple of the Pacific Northwest.
Come on.
Yeah. Now you get an idea as to why we love coffee so much. There's something about it that warms our spirits up here in the Northwest. Washington is America's coffee capital, with more coffee bean roasters per capita than any other state. We also are high on the list for timber product. Our logging industry continues to boom, generating approximately $16 billion in gross business income and paid out more than $2 billion in wages.
I'm Johnny Janicki, and I'm a logger.
The timber industry in Washington is, one of its richest resources. It's a combination of temperature and, precipitation that we get to grow these large trees.
I'll tell you one thing, it smells amazing out here. It's like Christmas everywhere.
The West Coast allows, the timber industry to thrive.
The Washington logger, 21st century. Within those forests are streams curving for miles, flocking with snowmelt, drinking water, and lots of fish. Up next, we're going to bring you the importance of fishing in the Northwest and why more women are encouraged to cast a rod. Plus,
you want to dive headfirst into the Northwest, paragliding. This is it.
Hi, I'm Jason Cotta, and I am a fly fisherman. So let's take a few steps up here. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna watch that fly. So that's a dry fly. So hopefully we'll see a fish come up and eat it on top. Stop nice and high. There we go, perfect.
What drives your passion?
I'd say it's a combination of things. So one, it's just being inside. So I hate being cooped up, right? So it gets me outside, and fly fishing is just another cool excuse to be outdoors. So it's a little odd because usually I'm out here fishing with my wife. Yeah, honestly, it's been a while since I fished with one of my buddies or with another guy. So
you're
it's kind of interesting.
You're out here with women.
Yeah, out here with women.
Why is that?
Well, as it would turn out, they love to fish too. And Orvis, actually a big thing that we're doing right now, a big initiative that we have is called 50-50 on the water. And our goal is by 2020 to have 50% of the anglers out there be women.
Hold on a second. We got more women out here. Let's stop the story, restart this thing, and get a woman on the water.
I think that's a good idea. Just hold on to that with your index finger. Good.
How do you feel about the idea of getting more women on the water?
I mean, I do think people think of women like hiking and going outdoors, but maybe not fishing as much. I mean, it still kind of seems like a male-dominated thing.
Just shake it out, and then from here, straight back, there you go. You know, the fly fishing industry for the longest time has been definitely very kind of male-oriented, but Orvis, we are very involved with trying to get more women in the sport.
Is it weird for you now to want to go fishing? You're like the only girl.
Because my husband doesn't want to go? No, I don't think so. I just need to find other women who will hang out with me. I just need to know how to find accessibility like this, where I could just pull up in my car with my equipment and go fishing.
All right, so you guys ready to get waitered up, go catch some fish?
Yes!
All right, let's do it.
Maybe I should use the bathroom one more time.
So let that just totally straighten out behind you.
Okay.
So let it keep going, keep going, keep going, and then
roll it.
Just cast it right that way. Nice, that's money. Our goal is by 2020 to have half of the fly anglers out there be women. And we do a lot of lady-specific classes as well. We have a couple great ladies that work at the shop that teach the classes. So it's women being taught by women, and they do these classes, go out fishing, and have a great time.
I think I always had an appreciation for nature because I went fishing and because I spent a lot of time outdoors.
Yeah, the catching is a bonus. I mean, that's why we call it fishing and not catching, right?
It was fun. This is fun. I love this.
Any luck, Jason?
Not yet, but I'm gonna keep at it, and it beats being at the office.
And you know what else beats a day at the office?
Keep running.
Now, as a lifelong Puget Sound area resident, people often ask me, Chris, what's the coolest thing I can do around here? We want to do something fun this weekend. You know about boating and biking and hiking, but not a lot of people brag about flying. Yes, flying, and there is some foreshadowing over my shoulder. No experience necessary. For more, I'll take you to the top of Tiger Mountain.
We're here at Tiger Mountain today, right here in Issaquah. Anybody can go paragliding. I started about 24 years ago. I took a friend for a birthday present, and we've both been doing it ever since. I've never had a month that I haven't flown. I don't consider paragliding an adrenaline-producing sport. I find it surreal. It's more like what an eagle feels.
So we just jump off. That's not too scary.
I'm not an adrenaline junkie, but I do like the sport because it does blows the cobwebs out of your heads. It's like an escape. Every flight is like a vacation.
I moved here from Texas and saw this and thought it was a great sport, and thought I wanted to do it one day, and the next day I was doing it. So
leave it to somebody from Texas to say, I'm going to tame a tiger.
Yeah, and we've got some eagles up there that fly with us sometimes, and so it's just a way to really enjoy the beautiful area that we have here in Seattle.
What do you think? Got a thumbs up.
Going tandem means two people on the pilot in control. Very little is required of the passenger. I got the glider above me, half a second. All I need is to turn. Anybody can do it. No experience is necessary whatsoever from the passenger.
Be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Would you just walk off the edge of this? It is very intimidating.
All right, guys, he gave me the high sign. Here we go, paragliding. In real time, no camera tricks. Let's do it, okay? All right. Here we go. My feet. All right.
Okay, Chris, run. All right. Keep running.
For people who just moved here, you want to dive headfirst into the Northwest, paragliding. This is it.
And what other places have you flown? Because you're a guy who flies around a lot of places.
Other spots locally, we fly Blanchard Mountain, put a Chuckanut Drive, about 10 miles north of Bellingham. Awesome place. Views of the San Juan Islands while you're flying, it is just beautiful. I'm also Fort Eby on Whidbey Island near Coopville, a site that just gives you lift from the wind.
You wouldn't believe the view from up here high atop Tiger Mountain. It is stunning. Now don't show me, you'll ruin the illusion. We've already landed safely. It is spectacular. You've got to come try.
Now that bird's eye view doesn't necessarily have to come from a paraglider. It could come from your seat at the office. Interesting, right? Have you ever looked at our skyline and thought, man, that's beautiful. I wonder who's responsible for creating it. It's those people who are sitting for hours a day creating our skyline. Now they have one heck of a view. Key thing, always look up. You never know where that thing is.
Hi, I'm Brian Lay. I work for Garner Construction, and I am a crane operator.
Yeah, he is.
All right, Brian, easy up. Coming over right next to you, bud. What's really neat about it, I think, mostly, is when you come around and you see all your buildings, and you take pride in the ones that you've worked on.
Yeah.
And the ones you haven't worked on, you looked at it, and most of the time, man, I wish I would have done that building.
This is a pretty view, man, I'm not gonna lie. Sitting in a chair 8 hours a day, 100% way better than sitting in a cubicle.
Yes, it is. You know?
I mean,
this is what you get to look at all the time.
Amazing.
But yeah, the structures and what's built here in Seattle, it's really mind blowing.
Do we know how tall that is?
To the hook, it's 137 feet.
It's not scary. I mean, really, if you keep your eyes looking out on the horizon, it's when you look down, things get a little creepy.
Things always change up here. They're always changing. And the sunrises, you just can't beat it. You can't beat it. The greatest experience is when the job is finished and the next day they're going to take down the crane. The accomplishments of walking off that job when the crane is gone and you look up and you look at that building and you were part of that. I think that's the biggest accomplishments that you can go off of when you're up in the crane or when you're not.
Charlie all the way in, we'll set right next to your base.
Copy that.
What makes you prideful to live here, to work here, to play here in Seattle and Pacific Northwest?
I grew up here. It's home. It will always be home. When I leave here, I mean, I've never been anywhere else but garment construction, and I absolutely love it.
Hey! Hey!
When I'm 62 years old and I decide to walk away, the goal is to just walk away with that one company and always be a part of it. You know, never, always be there. I think that's the enjoyment. Really, it is. I mean, not bouncing around, not doing this, just sticking down and going full throttle.
From one sky view to another. Since 1946, the Kenmore Air Seaplane has called Lake Washington home, commuting people around the Pacific Northwest in one of the more unique ways to travel. Still to this day, you get people in awe of these bird-like machines. Where are you guys headed?
Victoria.
Victoria. You've ever been there?
Yes.
3 times at least.
But have you ever taken a seaplane?
No.
Kick over my coffee cup.
Okay, do not kick over the coffee cup.
This is a de Havilland Beaver, and it was probably made in the late 50s or early 60s.
Let's go.
I think we should do it.
We're going to Paulsbo. Here we go. Don't knock over the coffee cup. Oh, hey there, buddy.
Hey.
We forgot Andy. We're coming back for you.
I'm back. I'm here.
Hi.
Check. There you are.
What's one of the fondest memories you have? I don't know, seeing something, experiencing something. Is there anything that like stands out? Like, man, there was this one time.
You have lots of those moments. We fly up to the San Juans and you see orcas a lot.
It's so cool. Like, we live in this city that is vibrant and there's so much going on, yet you don't have to go very far to just get away from it.
No, you don't. Paulsbo has a completely different personality to it.
Vibe,
you know?
yeah.
Vibe, that's the word.
He says this is where you park the airplane with no brakes and no reverse. That sounds difficult. It doesn't take much for people's jaws to drop. When you look at something so classic as this float plane, people just want to get in. This is what we're prideful about. Things that are unique to our area. Like this. Have you ever seen one of these before? No. Dude, come on, check it out. This is Chuck, this is the pilot. Why do you think we're fascinated by flying again?
It's different. We get used to traveling in cars and all that stuff, and plane is quite different.
Okay, you're telling me about this bakery. Let's go.
Oh yeah, right up this way.
I'm hungry. Slewey's Bakery. My weakness. Did you see this cinnamon bread? Look at that. It's a Viking cup with cream cheese. So that looks delicious, and I'm probably only gonna get one more thing, and that's gonna be your snickerdoodle. I don't think you can go wrong with anything in here. So this is like the go-to spot, I guess, huh? Thank you. Everyone's eating from the bakery. Oh my God. So good. You got a pretty sweet life.
It's amazing. There are lots of days that I take off out of Kenmore and I'm coming down the lake and the sun's out, now Rainier's out, and the air's nice and it's blue sky flying in, you know, and I see the Space Needle and whatnot. I just think, yeah, I just kind of can't believe, this is what I do. It's good enough for Bill Gates and Paul Allen. It's good enough for me.
Oh man, that was so much fun. I feel like a kid again, you know, when you're excited about flying. I'll tell you what, I think we can all agree that living in the Pacific Northwest, I mean, it gives us some of the most beautiful travel destinations right around our area. Now, getting there can be a bit of a hiccup, but this is putting fun and style back to getting to that destination. And it's right here in our own backyard. Thank you. Coming up next, you know hiking is a big part of the Pacific Northwest. We got a mom and daughter who's letting nothing stop them from getting into the woods, and they're inspiring others. We're gonna show you that, plus...
Hey guys, don't go anywhere. Coming up, we're hanging out on the farm in Graham, exercising on horseback. It'll make more sense. Stick around.
You know, there's this North Bend mom who's actually accomplished a lot. She's climbed mountains, run marathons, but it was her daughter who changed the adventure game up for her. You see, Ellie's got special needs, but it's inspired both of them to share their outdoor discoveries on social media.
You ready to go for a run? Ellie is 13 years old and she has cerebral palsy, and that for her that pretty much just means some brain damage that affects the way her muscles work and the way her eyes work. Let's go right through here. Those first few years were really rough, and my brother convinced me to take her for a jog. You ready, Buzz? Should we go slow or fast? And when we went out running, hand out, she squealed for delight, and that was the first time I'd ever heard her that happy. And so that day I became a runner. We've run 5 marathons together. I don't have much athleticism in me, but I have Ellie. Seeing the smile on her face and the joy that running brings to her kept me going. Ellie is the reason that I run, and now the reason that I hike. I know she loves hiking because that's the first thing she has to do every morning when she wakes up. We love the bees and all the sounds and the animals and the beauty of the lake. Okay, so let's go up to the water, okay? Can I tell you about the water? What? I wonder, do you want to know what color it is? Ellie's the reason I love the outdoors, and so she's the one that brings me to the outdoors because she's so happy here. A paved trail is great because we can use different types of equipment, from the wheelchair to a jogger to a walker. The downside is most of the paved trails around here are fairly short. It's hard to find trails that are wide enough, flat enough, long enough for us to really enjoy. We had run out of ideas, and so we needed to find new ways to new trails. I reached out to the Facebook group, the hikers group on Facebook, to find some new trails, and was quite overwhelmed with the response. We're gonna start making our way through that list. You ready to be in awe? I started an Instagram page called Finding Mountains to document Ellie and my journey finding accessible trails. When people see Finding Mountains, I hope that they are inspired to go out and find mountains for themselves, no matter what their abilities. It is hard, it is challenging. There's a lot of logistics, a lot of travel, a lot of figuring things out, but it's so worth it.
After that story aired, we got a text from Jean in Seattle. She uses a wheelchair to get around and asked us to connect her with Ellie and Summer Joe. All 3 ladies met up for a hike at Gold Creek Pond. It's a paved trail near Snoqualmie Pass.
Oh, wow.
Jean talked about her fears, and Summer Joe offered her advice.
You know, it's my trepidation of getting stuck, you know, especially by myself.
We've had some difficult moments, and you know what we found is that people out on the trails are always willing to help and lend a hand and give some advice and give us trail conditions of what's ahead. We've also hiked with other people on some of the trails, especially new trails that we've never been on, so that if there is any difficulty, there's an extra person to either help get us unstuck or who could go for help if we needed that support.
As you can tell, we love getting outside here in the Pacific Northwest. But have you ever thought about who maintains the trails that we're hiking on? You know, if it wasn't for volunteers and organizations like the Washington Trails Association, we wouldn't have pathways that are this nice. So now let's give some love to all you volunteers who help us get outside.
It's just something that you do. Yeah. Like if you're invested in your community, you come out and do it.
You know, why do you do it? What made you?
Well, I've hiked for, 40 years on these trails, and it's payback time.
My name is Bob Adler. I'm the crew leader for today. We're roughing in the stroller trail right now. The trail has a name. It's called Aaron's Wood, after a young lady in Index who has multiple sclerosis and is very much looking forward to being wheeled around on this trail.
I think a lot of people take the work that people do out here for granted, and it's nice for me to know that I've at least given back a little bit when I use all the trails around the Cascades and I-90 and Highway 2. It's rewarding for me.
Jay Steele.
You got it. Cool. And adjust it by squeezing this and moving the stuff around there.
I can't have it mess up my hair. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
So Washington Trails Association has a 50-year legacy of bringing hikers together to be champions for trails. It started as a newsletter where hikers really shared information with each other about current conditions, and quickly grew into a group of folks doing advocacy to protect public lands and make sure that trails were going to be around. Last year we brought about 5,000 folks out over the course of the year on everything from county lands to national parks and forests. And it was about 160,000 hours of volunteer trail work.
If there's a rock in the way, let's get it out.
If there's a rock in the way, let's get it out. Let's do this. Yeah.
It's great to get things done and see trails get built or maintained because they're in sore need of it.
Right.
With the lack of funding, it's a blessing that there is a organization like that that takes charge and does the work.
I mean, I guess the reason behind, WTA and when it started, what was the backbone of all that?
It really was about being able to ensure that everyone could access these places.
So as you can see, this part of the trail, they're doing a great job. Mowing it down, clearing it out, getting it nice and loose and easy to walk on, and then you come around this way, and this is where it gets all thick yet again. So we're right at that point where we got to continue on pushing it all out.
We advocate for the funding and really make sure that these places are managed in a way that provides a good experience.
Perfect. We're taking pride
Yes.
in getting outside.
Indeed, indeed. It's a remarkable community, and you feel that pride and the power of when passionate people come together and turn that passion into action.
Time to get outside. Here's a head scratcher for you. And this might be the most difficult question ever asked in the Pacific Northwest. If you had to choose between coffee and beer, what would it be?
Drink up if you're drinking. Drink up if you're drinking, boy.
Coffee or beer? Beer. If you had to choose one. Beer. Coffee.
Beer.
Beer?
No, thank you.
No, he doesn't want to drink any. Quick question, coffee or beer?
Beer.
Beer. The fascination of local microbreweries has exploded in the last 10 years. In fact, just in the past 4 years alone, the number of breweries in Washington has doubled. I don't think you get more of a Northwest vibe than what's going on right now. Local Seattle band Sundries hanging out at Elysian Brewing, doing what they do best. And they say this is a place that is very iconic. Cheers!
Cheers! Cheers. All right, guys, this is Space Dust. It's our largest brand. It makes it to pretty much the whole United States now. Pretty classic Northwest IPA, almost a double IPA in terms of alcohol.
So I was looking up statistics in case you guys wanted to know. Washington.
Came to the right band.
Washington has the third most microbreweries per state. But only one city is crowned Beer Town, USA, and that's right here in Seattle. What is it about like Seattle or the Pacific Northwest and its craving for like craft breweries?
You know, we have definitely a artsy culture here. I think that's kind of where the craft beer kind of came out of. But in addition, we're in an amazing place for raw materials for beer. So we are so close to Yakima, which provides a ton of the hop production for the United States and world. I think that's really where we got a lot of the inspiration and experimentation came from for our beers, was being in such a great area for beer.
Where do you think Elysian and microbreweries in general will be in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think that Elysian and other microbreweries in Seattle over the next 10 years will keep growing. I mean, if you walk around Ballard, you see a brewery, it feels like on every corner. Some are popping up in South Seattle now, which is exciting because that's where I live. And I just think that you'll constantly see new innovation. There might be a move into ciders or into meadery, or who knows what the next route is, but it seems that craft beer is here to stay for a while in Seattle.
So, to bring it back to the original question, coffee or beer?
Beer.
Beer. Yeah. Well, We like coffee here too, but beer's just as nice, right?
Yeah. You gotta balance both.
All right, well, cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
So as you can tell, we really appreciate the small things. We're talking about beer, coffee, hiking, fishing. And up next, we're gonna introduce you to a community where the culture runs deep. Believe it or not, we're talking about surf culture because there are rideable waves right here in Washington, but to them, it's not a sport. This is a lifestyle.
You know, in the old days, it was kind of an outlaw sport, but
Horse yoga. It's a thing.
Love to be outside. I love to share my love for horses and kind of what they can teach us about ourselves, so it's a perfect marry of the two. People got to know about horse yoga.
How did you get into this?
Well, I have horses.
Clearly.
Clearly, half of them I rescued.
But this is a side hustle for you. Who are you in real life?
I'm a nurse for 33 years now. I work full-time, so Monday through Friday, I'm doing my nurse thing. And on the weekends, taking care of the horses, riding the horses, and why not do horse yoga? Inhale, exhale.
I'm feeling it.
So we do a quick warm-up on the ground, and then you're actually gonna do yoga on the horses. Hand forward, left foot back.
Ooh.
Gosh, Chris, your heels are down. That's like hard.
I just discovered a new muscle, and I think I pulled it.
So anyway, we're gonna have 3 people. They've never done horse yoga before, so it's gonna be new to them, so it'll be fun to watch. Perfect. So our work here is gonna be our inner thighs and our core. Try to get between their ears, so you're literally, there you go. There you go. Let your low back stretch out just a little bit. Warrior 1, 2, looking left, there you go. 2 more breaths, there you go. That's where the stretch is. Exhale 2, reverse warrior 3. Hands to namaste. The horses and I want to thank you for coming and participating today.
Okay, this is it. Horse yoga.
I was going to put you on True right there, but she's just walking around. She's
Grandma sounds more my temperament.
Let's get on Grandma.
We're good.
You don't need to jump. Just swing your leg right over. There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to not grab on with my legs, huh?
Yeah.
I learned that in horse camp. We went for a good run.
You can put your back hands on her rump. You know, the biggest thing I get out of it is introducing people to horses and how special they are and how they can just bring us into the present and into the moment right away.
Grandma, that's my only request. It's in theme too, namaste, but mostly the stay part. Just stay.
When you're on a 1,000-pound animal, you're not thinking about your grocery list. You're really centered and focused. Oof. And there's very few times in our life where we're that quiet.
Shh, I'm relaxing. Don't bother me, I'm relaxing.
I know. Isn't that heavenly?
You know, since we're going with this whole Zen thing, I figured it's about time to bring you guys to the ocean, where a lot of people actually find their Zen. For those of you that go in the water, you understand its power. You respect it. Did you know surfers cover the coastline all over the globe? And here in the Northwest, that surf culture runs from generation to generation.
changed a lot. It's become more of a mainstream sport. You know, in the old days it was kind of an outlaw sport. But
I think it's 29 degrees.
How long have you been surfing?
Maybe shoulder high.
I've been surfing for...
Give it a go though.
Here at this spot?
Here at this spot for 2.5 decades.
Wow.
Yep, over 25 years.
How long have you been surfing Westport?
40 some years.
Wow.
Long time.
It's an amazing feeling to be out there, to listen, to be in the water. Sometimes you have the whales out there, you can hear them slapping their tails and making their noises. Pelicans flying right over your head. The sunset, when then the waves turn gold. I mean, like literally sometimes it's golden waves when you're sitting out there.
I love being immersed in the water. There's like something that there's no other feeling like it. It's just you're in the waves, you're in the present, in the moment.
You know, it's kind of like a baptism. It washes you clean when you go out in the water. It just, you come out of the water and all that stuff can be left behind.
It's weird, surfing does do that. When you get lost, for some people, it can like recenter your core. So it's not, it doesn't sound like it's about the sport, it's more about the ocean relationship with you.
It's a lot about the ocean. Before the wave riding gets good, you know, you got to learn how to deal with the ocean for all its different phases.
So I guess what I'm learning here is like, people will change the direction of their life because of that culture, that surf vibe. Like Claire, for instance, instead of buying a normal car, she buys this.
This is where I put the boards. It's like nice and solid right here. There's a couple of bungee cords. It goes all the way back so you can put long boards in there.
Quite a few of us women who moved here specifically just to surf and live here in Westport.
Really?
Yeah.
Know what you did?
That's what I did.
What advice could you give to like young girls who might be watching, who might be intimidated, right, by the ocean? What advice would you give yourself 10, 20 years prior?
Just try to find things that can make you happy. That's the best thing I could say to women out there, or somebody who's, if the ocean makes you happy and surfing makes you happy, just stick to it.
Can I give you a high five? That was beautiful. That was so good. A lot of people now, I feel like, well, maybe I'm just getting older, but they don't have that appreciation yet.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, I think they have an appreciation, but it is, I think because it's not cultural here in Washington, that people don't get to the beach until they can drive to the beach or ride with a crew and they're in their 20s or older. And so they're not steeped in the culture of respect and working their way into the lineup. And
how much longer do you think you'll be running this place?
You know, I think I'm going to be running this place until maybe a week or two after I die. And then I'm going to realize it's time to go home. You know? I don't see myself ever not doing it.
Why?
It's what I do. It's who I am. You know, my family, I raised my family out here and they all surf, and it's just been a great life.
There's this new term I heard recently. It's called forest bathing. Basically what you do is you jump into the forest and engulf yourself using all of your senses. They're teaching that over at Deception Pass State Park, but they're teaching it from the tops of some of the oldest trees in the region.
What I see now is the explosion of houses and things like that. Nature is suffering because too many people today don't understand what nature is about.
Clears your mind.
It does clear your mind. Okay, so how often would you say I gotta clear my mind?
Once a week.
Hey guys, this is Matt, and he's introducing us to bath time. Forest bath time.
We are going to get clipped in.
Okay.
And then we're going to start ascending. 200 feet, you can take your time. Remember to breathe. Remember to take lots of breaks.
Life's about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly, yeah.
Got it. Naval Academy graduates?
Yes. Yeah.
And why did you decide to hang out here?
God's grace is amazing. This is beauty is just phenomenal. So this is what we're after.
Scenery.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to be out here with these big trees.
And how old do you think this tree is, Anya?
Like maybe 500 years old.
You're like right on the mark, because this tree is anywhere from 250 to 500 years old.
So this term forest bathing, what does that mean?
So forest bathing originated in Japan, I don't know how long ago, and it is where doctors are prescribing people to get out in nature and swim your way up there. Because not only is it scientifically proven to lower your heart rate once you go for like a 15-minute walk.
How's it hanging?
I haven't heard that one yet.
I'm original.
Your blood pressure, your heart rate, but it also, can you smell the forest? You kind of smell the...
I think the aroma's a little sweet.
Yeah.
That's just my personal.
Yeah, definitely a sweetness to it. So those are some essential oils that the trees are giving off.
Pretty rad.
And they believe, the scientists, that those oils can actually boost your immune system.
Hey, what's going on? That's cool. We're like our own monkeys. Tarzan.
So, being cooped up in an office all day, you know, you're exposed to so many airborne toxins and, you know, just kind of a toxic environment sometimes. But being out here, you have the sweet smell of nature. So it's really good to get out and just get your blood flowing, but calm yourself down. All right, you're about 1/15 of the way there.
Yeah,
do this.
Woo! That's a little scary.
You made it.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool. So this is what it feels like to just be hanging out the tops of the trees like an eagle does.
How does it feel?
It's like, you know, you have those moments in life where you're like skydiving would be one of them. There's a feeling that's like so pure. This is that feeling.
You're gonna remember this forever. This doesn't fade away.
This is what you want to bring to people. This is what they don't really get to experience being inside, you know? Why do you do what you do? Why do you do this?
I think for me, it's all about reconnecting with nature. You know, there's something called nature deficit disorder, and it was outlined by a man named Richard Louv. He wrote a book about it, and it talks mostly about kids that aren't getting out into nature. They aren't experiencing this, and therefore, as they go through life, they're not working to protect these places that you know, future generations and the ecosystem at large, you know, needs to survive. So imagine if someone didn't say, hey, we should turn this into a state park, you know? We wouldn't be right here where we are right now. So it takes someone to care about it and to do something about it.
So I think we all get it, right? This is why we love the Pacific Northwest. The nature that surrounds us is absolutely beautiful. We just need to make it a more important note in our lives to go enjoy it every single day. I'm gonna go down now. See ya. So there it is. You know, I tried to give you an idea of what it's like being in the Pacific Northwest. It's awesome. And what we're prideful about, I mean, I was only able to cover just a fraction of that. So for now, I turn it over to you, because you probably know there's a lot more that we are prideful about. Maybe it's something that's close to your heart. So shoot us a text, won't you? 206-448-4545. I need your input, and I would love to expand on this topic because it is amazing. So for those of you that maybe got inspired by this, go out. I encourage you, enjoy it, appreciate it, because where we live is extremely unique. And most importantly, share it with others.